The magic of baked pasta, or pasta al forno, is that its flavors have many faces. Sometimes they're inspired by the season, and other times it's simply a matter of what you have in hand. It's the perfect combination of pasta, sugo, bechamel, and lots of melty cheese. So while we heat up our leftover sugo, we can make the bechamella. Just a couple of tablespoons of butter, a couple of tablespoons of flour, and just whisk this through. All we are making is what in cooking jargon is called a roux. Make sure that it becomes a paste, and we're just going to cook it for a couple of minutes. That's looking pretty good. And now we're going to add the milk a little bit at a time. There. Whisk, 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 whisk. This is what I mean. See how it's getting smoother and smoother. It's always helpful to use milk that's been slightly heated, just so that it's not fridge cold. Otherwise, it can seize a little bit. So because we already have the sugo, this part here is the only real labor involved in this recipe. Ooh, look, it's getting thicker and thicker. Labor done. And here, let's season it. A bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and some nutmeg. And this will add a really wonderful, warm, and almost tangy aroma. Great. Give it a stir. Perfect. Let's cook some pasta. I'm using rigatoni for this dish because it's just a classic combination with pasta al forno. And I suppose for something like pasta al forno, it's always better to use a short pasta and one that's got ridges and maybe even a hole, because then all the good bits are going to get absolutely everywhere. Because this dish is basically cooked twice, because the pasta is cooked in the pot and then again in the oven, I'm only going to really take it to 3/4 of the way through, because I don't want it to overcook by the time it bakes in the oven. Ooh. I'm just going to keep a little bit of the pasta cooking water in this pot, because that's going to help bind all the sauce. Wonderful. Let's dress it with some of our leftover sugo. I want this really saucy. Okay, there's no particular technique involved in assembling, but this is how I like to do it. I always like to just add a tiny bit more sauce to the bottom of the dish. I'm just going to do one layer of pasta first, just like so. A little bit of pecorino and a little bit of black pepper. And now, a bit of our bechamel. The idea is to coat the first layer of pasta in bechamel, then add a second layer of pasta, grate some pecorino, and season with pepper, and finish with another layer of bechamel and cheese. This is a rich, hearty meal. A bit of pepper. It goes in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. And now I'm just going to add some mozzarella. And I'm using a dried mozzarella, and it's also known as scamorza in Italy. And it's basically just like a mozzarella, but it's just been left to dry. It's not kept in a whey bath. And I'm just going to add some slices on top of the bake. Just going to strategically position some dried mozzarella here and there. That'll be it. The mozzarella won't take long, but when it melts, it's truly divine. There it is. Oh, this is the best moment, because you can see all the bubbling cheese around the edges. A bit of pepper and some fresh basil, just for some freshness and a reminder of where this dish comes from. Couldn't look more Italian if it tried.